housing price. So pre-approval is what you want, and that's what your realtor is going to want when you're out shopping.
Oh, no sound.
Oh, got it. Still no sound? Is there sound?
Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Thumbs up if you can hear us. My. I hope I got all of it.
I know. Can you hear us now?
Where is it streaming?
My Facebook page.
Perfect. Yeah,
Please give us a thumbs up if you could hear us.
Yeah, it's going through.
you can hear
Okay,
it?
good. All right, we're going to dive in. Kim Manley from Point Mortgage.
Cool. I'm going to keep going. So I'll hit on these bullet points, and then I think the next screen is some more information. But yeah, credit score is really important, which I think is also going to be talked about later.
Yes. And then the different loan programs.
Yeah. So yes, your credit score, it can be as low as 580, as that mentioned. Of course, the better your score, the better the interest rate is going to be. So I think talking about credit repair is going to be super helpful a little bit later today. And different loan types can go that low, but not all loan types can go that low. So the best thing is get pre-approved, so you know where your credit stands, you know if you need to work on it, or if we can get you a loan as you stand now. I think I saw something about continuity of employment. That is huge. If we're in an escrow process and you're going to change your job, please tell someone, because we do verify the employment at the end of the loan. So you need a solid 2-year work history, or a reason that you weren't at work. So maybe you were being a mom, or you were a student, or whatever that is. You can have a small gap, but good idea to get pre-approved, talk to your loan officer, so you can say, hey, I had a 6-month gap for whatever reason, and then we can say that works, that doesn't work, whatever. Different loan types, though. Yes, there's an FHA loan that is really designed for first-time home buyers, or people who have just barely saved it down, or they had some negative credit issues in the past and they're trying to come back from that. So it's 3.5% down is the lowest you can put. They accept lower credit scores, 580. There is mortgage insurance for the life of the loan. So unless you put significant amount down, we won't talk about that. But the mortgage insurance for the life of the loan, last year they reduced it a little bit, so it's a little less expensive. It's making things a lot more affordable, especially in our area. An FHA loan is a great option here. Conventional, yep, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, they're just the two main players there. But that is more designed for someone who has sold their home, like Bill and Sherry, I think, sold their first home, and then they're taking that equity into the next home. So you can put as low as 3% down, not on a manufactured home, but really, if you're going to do that, FHA would be more designed for you. But yes, conventional loan, if you put less than 20% down, there is mortgage insurance. It is a little more expensive typically than FHA. So your loan officer is going to be the one to tell you, hey, this is going to be the better loan type for you for whatever reasons. And then you can talk, well, I want to, whatever your plan is. So talk to a loan officer about what's best. Where are we? I think.
Want to talk about the DREAM program?
Yes. Is there another one?
No, you could just
Okay.
talk about the different loan types, and then.
So one thing we didn't mention, a VA loan, it of course is for very specific people, obviously veterans or active duty. But if you are a veteran and you've never used your VA loan, or even if you have, you should use it again. You can use it multiple times. Under rare circumstances, you can have 2 VA home loans. So if you're a veteran or active duty, please consult a loan officer to use that. It's a wonderful benefit. They have the lowest interest rates, so that's ideal. But yes, down payment assistance programs. The biggest one in California is CalHAFA. They offer down payment assistance. So there's a VA, FHA, conventional options. There's lots of options there. They offer down payment assistance as a second mortgage. So you have your first mortgage, and then your second. Let's say it's $100,000 sales price, which is unrealistic in our area, but just for the numbers' sake, and you're putting 3% down. So what's that? $3,000. So your first mortgage is going to be $97,000. Your second is $3,000. They also can help with closing costs, and that would be in third position. So you have 3 loans. but you can get in with very little down, so it's a great option. Their rates are fixed. They're published online. You can Google it yourself. Yeah, good one. The new one coming out this spring is California Dreams for All. The guidelines were just released a month ago. It is strictly for first-time home buyers. So if you've owned a home in the past, you do not qualify. It is a shared equity program, meaning they will lend you 20%. But when you go to refinance or you sell in the future, you have to pay back that 20% and 20% of what you have gained. So it's a great way to get in, no mortgage insurance. The other caveat this year that's different from last year is you have to be first generation home buyer, meaning your parents cannot currently own a home. If your parents have passed and they owned a home when they passed, you do not qualify. If your grandparents own a home, but your parents do not currently, you do qualify. So it's a little bit unusual. Not sure how we're going to navigate that yet, but yeah, it's available.
Yes, and if you are gonna do the dream program, I did have somebody, when it rolled out, we started before the program rolled out, which is so key because they only limit so many on the dream program. So it's very key to get someone that knows the program because you wanna start looking now, and when it rolls out, then we could get you into that dream program. If you qualify for it. If not, there's so many other programs out there. And also, Kim, what does Point Mortgage, what type of loans do you do? You do VA, FHA?
We've got like 6 down payment assistance types.
6 different types.
Yeah, really the only things we don't do are land loans.
So,
Construction, 203K. Yeah, I forgot to talk about rates. Did you want me to mention that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Kim's going to come back up with me and talk about rates. And then I also want her to share, a lot of my clients are looking for refis. So cash out refis. So she'll talk about a little bit about that too.
Yeah, so rates today are ranging, of course, loan type, what your credit score is, what your down payment amount is, all those things matter a great deal. So I can't say they're at 6.5 today, but I can say they're between a 6.25 and a 6.875, depending on a huge variety of factors. You can, of course, pay a discount charge to get it down a little bit. But yeah, that's not in writing. Nobody quote me on that. Asterisk. Yes, you have a question?
So, with the recent low rates that we had, a lot of people refinanced into those lower rates. People are very happy with them. If people are in situations where they might need some cash, where they would typically do a cash out refi, is there more than one option?
Yes, so you're right. We're seeing that too, and we're actually doing seconds. So there's a whole bunch of people with a 3% loan. They want to pool. They want to consolidate their very high credit card debt, which is real right now. Just home loan rates are not the only rates that are high. Credit card rates are extremely high. So we are doing debt consolidation with seconds. So again, you've got your first at 3.5%, it's $97,000, and we do a second. So it goes into second position, and maybe it's for $30,000, and we pay off all your credit cards, or it's for $100,000, and we get you a new pool. We do not do pools, but we do the loan. So yes, that is an option. What people have to consider is, okay, I bought my house 2 years ago. It was $200,000. I put down 5%. You know, are they in an equity position to get a second mortgage? That would be something that your realtor would be able to help you with. Like, hey, you bought it at $200,000. Right now it's worth $400,000. You can absolutely, there's enough equity there for you to get a second. Talk to your lender. But if they can't get a second, we can do a cash out refinance. Absolutely. So there are people that bought homes last year at the higher rates that we're already starting to see come back, like, hey, I want to refinance. I'm at a 7.5, and you know, we can save them a point-ish. So that's coming back. So that's cash out. There's a rate and term refinance too. That's different. So if you want to pull cash out for whatever reason, okay. Or if you want to do a rate and term, meaning last year you had a 7.5% and now we're at 6.5, so that's going to be a rate and term refinance. Those rates are a little bit better because you're not pulling more equity out. You're just trying to maintain what you have and sort of lessen your monthly payments. So those are the two differences there. Okay, yeah. Oh, and there's also VA Streamline, FHA Streamline, call your lender.
Yes. So all different loan types there, and I specialize in all wide variety of people. I help military, I help everyone. So if you need anything, I will connect you with the right lender and get you started on any of that. Also, I had this amazing person come today. Her name is Tiffany. She's with Credit Evolve. I am so happy she came today, and I met her years ago when I got into the industry, and she's just amazing. So I'm going to have her come up and speak about all the credit repair.
Thanks. Thanks, team. Thanks. Thanks for having me. And again, this large, amazing room and huge energy today. So thanks for being here. I'm so grateful. So I get to talk about the fun things, right? So when you think about credit, it either you get excited by, hey, look, I'm a really good student. I feel very, like my scores are high. But it can also sort of be this unintentional experience where people sort of feel judged or they feel ashamed and unfortunately walk with their head down, feeling like this is a prison sentence and I can't seem to find my way out. I want to first address the elephant in the room, and that when you say credit repair, friends, you should be cringy a little bit. It should feel cringy. 97% of all individuals or organizations nationwide are either unethical, illegally operating. Frankly, the compliance scrutiny is finally coming down even harder on our industry. But the facts are that every consumer is entitled to have a solution. And bad things happen to really good people. I can tell you right now that just because you have a 620 FICO or a 550 FICO or a 400 FICO does not mean you have bad character, and it doesn't need to be a prison sentence. So first and foremost, I get to be the joy bringer and the way maker for people that quite frankly thought that no was just going to be their new word of the year, right? It just, homeownership may not be for me. And a lot of people feel that way after time and time again of going and applying for loans, or my new favorite, although I'm a little addicted to TikTok myself, is people going on TikTok and watching these credit hacks. And I want to just literally be mind blown with some of the icky stuff on TikTok with credit correction opportunities. But nonetheless, there is a strategy. First and foremost, we want to partner you. If you have credit challenges, let's say that you went through a divorce. I walked through that myself in 2018, was not fun. Or perhaps, COVID. COVID impacted so many people. It is still impacting people. So again, who could predict some of these life changes that we often face, right? So my best recommendation is to dust yourself off, come up with some fresh perspective and say, you know what? No, I want to be a homeowner. We will absolutely create a solution for you. I want to talk about what sets us apart from credit repair, though, because I did mention credit repair is sort of cringy. And I want to talk a little bit about why I say that. We actually partner credit challenge clients with nonprofit HUD-approved credit counselors. So when you're working with us, not only do you have that handheld, deep dive, very personalized experience, but we tailor the solution to be actionable for the consumer. I like to use the example, it's January or February now, but in January, I was going to join a gym. Didn't happen. I was going to join a gym, and if I had done that and I said I want to lose 15 pounds, and frankly, the gym trainer said, Tiffany, I've got a plan for you. You need to eat chicken and broccoli 400 times a month, and you need to be at the gym 4 hours a day. That wouldn't happen because I cannot just live on chicken and broccoli. I happen to love Girl Scout cookies in the back, but I could definitely work on exercising more. So my point is, if it's not actionable and not realistic, it's just not going to feel like it's a good solution. So we work with Point Mortgage. Point Mortgage, frankly, I've had almost a 20-year relationship with, and one of the benefits of partnering with Courtney, of course, who believes in no buyer left behind, and very much a way maker in the real estate industry, said, I love this solution because it really helps consumers be met where they're at with no judgment. Frankly, to give you perspective, a consumer that, let's say they had a 400 FICO or a 500 FICO, These loan programs, friends, do not require you to be in the 700s. You do not need to be in the 800s. Frankly, most lenders will tell you 640 to 680 is really optimal for best pricing. Or if they can loan sometimes down to 580, but sorry, I have runny nose, of course, not my favorite thing to be doing on a camera. Excuse me, no judgment. But that being said, you don't have to be perfect. And I think that's really what I want to stress today. I want to talk about the scenario of a 400 FICO or a 500 FICO. FICO scores move so quickly from the low 5s into the mid 6s if the plan is actionable and realistic. So a scenario that we see all the time is consumers that have 520 FICO or 540. Lender sends the referral over, and we meet with the credit coach meets with the client. We do the free consultation, and we go, oh my gosh, they just needed one more credit line, or they just need to settle these 3 collections for deletion, and we can facilitate making that happen. Sometimes consumers, you might be one of those that just needs a spending plan created for you that's realistic, where we can do a deep dive into how you spend money and find a creative way to help you save for the down payment of the house. So again, do not let perfection stand in the way of what you really want. I look at the cost of rent right now, and the pain points of renting are so substantial. So my challenge to you in virtual land or anywhere land is that I really want you to think of 2024 as the new year, new you. Start thinking about how you're going to decorate your future home. Start thinking about it and identify it as a possibility for yourself. Credit can be fixed. It can be done ethically. Thank you very much. It should not take a long time. Frankly, 3 to 5 months is a really standard amount of time for a consumer to go from the 5s into the mid 6s. You guys will blink and 5 months will be gone. So today is the day to say, you know what, I want a free consultation, no obligation, no risk consultation, so that you can meet with a credit expert that can really design a plan for you. We work very well with your lender, especially that's in the room right now. We work with lenders nationwide, by the way, and we can accommodate you. But today's your day, friends. Don't let perfection be your obstacle. We don't want to do that.
Thank you so much, Tiffany.
My runny nose, really?
Oh, that was so great. I love that. New year, new you. I love that. So, like we said, pre-approved. Now what? Well, putting together your team is huge. Worden Realty Group has a team. We have the lender, the realtor, the insurance agent, the inspector, the title, and the transaction coordinator. And it's so important to have the right team. And also when you're hiring each member of your team, everyone should work seamlessly and flawless. And I'm huge on communication. So stress-free and the best possible for you guys. Terms of transaction. So most people, especially first-time home buyers, they don't know earnest money is due 3 days once we go into escrow. So you do need to put an earnest money deposit. It's typically 1 to 2% of ask price. It's a deposit put down by the buyer at the time of contract. So when we go into escrow. Also in San Diego area, they require it 3%. So that's if you're in those areas. In different areas, they do want a higher earnest money, but your realtor will help you with that, Courtney Worden. And so also title policy is so important. The title insurance is protecting the seller and buyer, protecting from you with a clean title, making sure there's no liens and all of that greatness. You don't want to lien on your property, so title insurance is really important to make sure it's clean and clear for you. Inspections, home inspections is a buyer expense. I have a great team that helps with all the inspections. Also, appraisal is another buyer cost. It's from a licensed appraisal. Opinion of market value for their home is required of obtaining a loan on the property. And then also contingencies. There's so many contingencies when it comes to the transaction, but I know all of them and I will guide you through them all. where to shop for houses. The best resources is CourtneyWordenHomes.com or any realtor's portal. It's actually the best source because if you're going on Craigslist, Trulia, Zillow, Redfin, all of them, well, Trulia is inaccurate. Craigslist is probably full of scams, especially with rentals. Be very careful. And Zillow. Zillow is very inaccurate. Zillow's homes is usually worth less than the market value. So if it's listed 600, they don't feed into the MLS and it's very inaccurate. So you really want a realtor that is going to come see your house and see the upgrades, see and touch and feel all of it, because we're going to give you the best price and the top dollar. So a lot of people ask, well, I want to buy your home. Who pays for that? Well, it might change, guys, but as of right now, the seller always pays for those realtor fees. They don't mark my words, it could change, but the fee is negotiated by the seller and their agent prior to the house going on the market. But that is always changing in our market. Buyer's agent versus listing agent. I get this all the time. Well, Courtney, you're not the listing agent on that. I'm going to go directly to that listing agent. Well, did you know the listing agent, they take an oath to the sellers. So they're going to have the seller's best interest. And if you choose a buyer's agent, they are going to negotiate and work hard and work for you. So buyers assume it's best to go straight to the listing agent of the home because they're going to get the best deal. It's actually false. So remember, your agent will always take an oath to advocate and have your interests at the best forefront. The best way to ensure you're protected and have someone working on your behalf. So choose Worden Realty Group. How much to offer for a home? Well, I'm going to help you with that. I do based off comp sales, and I make sure I rapport a relationship with the listing agent and also make sure we're making the strongest offer so we could win. Transaction process, I'm going to guide you through the contingencies and all of that. Earnest deposit 3 days. Typically, you're going to want to do your home inspection, and also important to get your insurance. Right now, we're having a huge deal on the industry leaving California. So get your home insurance early. And don't worry about timing the market. We have many success stories involving clients who squeezed into properties, and like Bill and Sherry, they now are worth $1.6 million in equity. So buy now. And I want to thank you all for coming today. If you guys have any questions, I love to help. My name is Courtney Worden, a cool banker, Worden Realty Group. All my info will be linked below. Also, all the guest speakers are going to have their links also, so you can contact them. Make sure you tell them you heard of them by the buyer seminar so they know. But thank you so much for watching. It was so nice. And thank you for coming. There's plenty of food in the back, so please take home all the food so I don't have to take it home. Thank you. All right. I also did want to touch, and I totally forgot this, so I'm going to just show you. So this is my website real quick. It will navigate to right here. So this is what it looks like. We also have an app. So if you go to my website, and it will shoot you over the app. So if you're driving around and wanting all the open houses, it's going to get you there. And also, if you need a home valuation, it's right there. And all the neighborhoods surrounding Canyon Lake, the lakes in Menifee Lakes, the Oasis, Temecula, Morgan Hills, Wildomar. It's going to tell you about each local, like Wolf Creek. It's going to show you there everything about that, all the active listings, what's there. And right now they have 7 listed. Also tells you rentals. So it's a great resource. But thank you so much. Take care.